Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning again. So today's session is in continuation of NMAP series, what we started yesterday. Yesterday's class was all about target specification. That is, what is NMAP, how to check the version of the NMAP, and how to use NMAP for its individual target. That is one IP address or one host name, or you can even scan NMAP uh, with a range of IP addresses. Now, what we did yesterday was just a default scan. That is, by default, NMAP would scan 1000 IP addresses, and we have also seen the port, uh, the ports which it has reported. That is either open or closed, or it is filtered. We know it will give a open port whenever it gets a SYNAC message from the target machine for a TCP session. It would report a closed port if it gets a reset acknowledgement message uh, from the target machine, and if it does not get any kind of reply from a target machine, that means it assumes that there is some kind of a firewall which is preventing this type of messages coming out. So that's filtered. These are the three things we have to understand in NMAP: open, closed, and filtered. Today's session, we will talk about different types of scanning techniques. Different types of scanning techniques, that is SYN scan, okay, and connect scan, fin scan, all those things. So let's start with TCP SYN scan, what it is. TCP SYN scan is a stealth scan, you can say. Stealth scan means you don't establish a full TCP session because your goal is not to make a full connection. Your goal is to identify if a particular port is open or not, plus what service is running on that port. This is your goal basically. So, how do you proceed with this? What is the command to proceed? The command is nmap space small s. The small s stands for it's a SYN scan, okay, and then there is a capital S saying that you are going to send a segment with the SYN flag on. And because the TCP header also needs a port number, you can specify a targeted specific port number with a hyphen small p. See, these things are really important. A capital P will be different option, and a small p is different option. So we have to be very careful when we are using these options in nmap, even when you are writing in future automated scripts. So you have to keep this in mind. And then 80 is of course port number 80 HTTP. Now what happens exactly once this command is executed? I'm just going to show you illustration here. Source, from the source there is a TCP segment with the SYN flag on with the target port number 80 going to the destination machine. So what happens here in the destination machine? If the port is open, port number 80 is open, then the service or a daemon which is running on that port will give a reply back. That would be a SYN plus acknowledgement, the second segment, in reply to the first segment. This is what normal TCP three-way handshake would look like. So this is when, if a port is open, okay, and then from the source, because you're not interested to actually make a full connection, you will simply send a reset flag segment back to the destination, so that yeah, the connection is pretty much closed here. So you can see the packet capture below. So here 192.168.1.18 is the source, in this case my Kali Linux machine, and 1.1 is the target, which is again my router in the LAN. So I have sent a a SYN plus, SYN plus a port number 80. So this is the SYN flag on, and the destination port, you can see here, it is 80. Alright, so I got a reply from 1.1, the target machine, and I got a reply here 1.18, and this is a reply with the SYN and ACK. And finally what I do, because I'm not interested to actually make a full connection, I give it a reset flag on message back to it. So this is for discovering if a port number 80 is open or not. Or not only port number 80, you can check for any port. All you have to do is replace this number from 80 to any other port of your interest. Okay, so this is the TCP SYN scan. So we will do this practically again. So let me use NMAP command here. So NMAP small s for scan, and then capital S for sending a SYN scan. Options really important. Small s for scan and capital S for SYN scan, and then the target followed by P, and then number 80. So I got a reply instantly that port number 80 is open. You can even check out the other ports. Let's say 23, that's for telnet. Now it says filtered. Maybe there is a firewall which is filtering that. Let's check on 443. It's open, you can see the state is open. And let's check on some other port. Let's say, usually if the target machine is a Windows machine, which in this case is not, a port called 3389 will be open if it is an old Windows machine, which is called as a remote desktop protocol. Really bad idea. And this one is closed. Okay, yeah. Now don't get under impression that when we are getting a service like this MS WBT server, don't think that, oh, there is something on the other side that is giving a reply. No. This is actually NMAP resolving this port number referring to its own database. It's not like something which is there on the other side. Okay, that will be a different thing. That is operating system discovery, okay, version discovery. In those cases we will see all those extra things, but by default, if I do this scan, if you see something on the service, do not assume that this is the actual service which is running on the other side. We have to use -v, if you remember, capital V, to get the actual service version number. This we have seen yesterday. Okay, so that's a SYN scan. Now the next type of a scan would be the TCP connect scan. Now in the TCP connect scan, the option is again small s, standing because you are trying to scan, and capital T because it's a connect scan. So what exactly are you going to do here? Well, when compared to the previous scan, what is the difference here? So again you are doing the same thing. You are trying to scan the port number 80 on this one. Okay, and then 192.168.1.1 is your target. You are sending a SYN packet with port number 80 on, and then you are getting a reply SYN-ACK on your machine, and then you are not just sending a reset, but you are also sending a acknowledgement and reset here. This is called as a connect scan, because you are actually telling the destination machine that you have received the previous SYN-ACK message. That is the reason you are sending a ACK. So sometimes some machines they do not uh, log things, or maybe you are just trying to do little on your own device, scanning on your own devices, which you're not worried about getting logged or all those things. Then you can go for this scan to check the service. This is called as a TCP connect scan. The third type of a scan is fin scan. So fin scan is interesting. This is a stealth scan basically. So what it does is it sends a TCP segment with a fin flag on, with a port number, some port number. Okay, a fin scan with some port number here. So what happens here in this case? Now, by the way, the command I have not written here. Here it is: nmap space -s capital F 192.168.1.17. So this is my target here. All right. So capital F is again for fin scan. All right. Now -p 80. So here, if the port is open on the other side, okay, I will not get any reply for this segment. If I am not getting any reply for this segment, then I am automatically assuming that the port is open. That's it. A simple logic. Now the previous TCP scan, you basically get a reply if a port is open here. Okay. The problem with this type of approach is he knows that you have asked for it, because he is logging your connections there. Whereas in this case, he does not care, because this is not a SYN message. This is a fin message. This is more anonymous message. The chances of this getting logged, unless and until it's a really intelligent firewall, okay, where most of the people, they usually they tend to not to configure their firewalls properly, so they may ignore this unless and until it's a really nasty firewall, right? So fin plus port X. The point here is, if you want to know if it is an open port, then you will not get a reply. What happens for the closed port? Simple. If there is a port is closed port, then you would get a reply, RST and acknowledgement. Simple. For open port, you don't get a reply. For a closed port, you do get a reply back. It's that simple. Now, how does the output actually look like for this NMAP for fin scan? Let's see. So NMAP 192.168.1.1, port number small p 80. Now here it is saying that the port is open. Okay. Now what if I am trying to scan some port which is, I know that it is closed. Yeah, it's giving as a closed. So how is it able to tell whether it is open or closed? So based on the reply, if it is not getting any reply, it's open. If it is getting reply, it means it is a closed port. Simple and very intelligent as well here. Okay. So all this exercise is to identify open ports. Now there is a XMAS scan or TCP XMAS tree scan, wherein you are using multiple flags. Now usually this kind of a segment, it does not have any meaning at all. You are not saying that you want to connect, you are not saying you want to close, you are not saying anything basically. It's just you are enabling some flags here, your fin flag, your urge flag, your push flag, everything you are enabling, you are sending it to the destination here. And again the logic is same here. If the port is open, you don't get anything reply, because in order for the machine to give a reply back, it has to be a SYN flag on. There is no SYN flag on here, isn't it? So there is no, he will not get a reply. But For a closed port, he will give a reply saying that, well, I don't know whether you are trying to connect to me, but the port on which you are trying to connect to me is closed for the business, so I'm going to send a reset acknowledgement to him. Okay, so again, this is a kind of a scan a stealth scan where you don't establish a full connection. You are not sending a SYN messages everywhere here, but usually you are able to know whether the port is open or closed. This is another technique of using NMAP. So the command to use is NMAP space hyphen small capital X followed by the target and then the IP address, I mean the port number, sorry. So let's see. Capital X followed by the target. So this is our target here, hyphen P80. Now this practical you can do in your own home. So you try it on your own router. You will have definitely one router in your home, a service provider's router. Know the IP address of the service provider router. It's not much difficult. So you can practice this. Let's try it on 81. Yeah, pretty much the same result here. Okay, see, you get the same output whether you are running SX scan or SF scan. There you go, see, but the way it does is different. If one is not working, then you choose the other one. Okay, and then there is one more scan called as null scan. So what is a null scan? Well, in a null scan you are basically disabling all the flags. You're not even using one flag there. You just disable everything and you target one port whichever you want to verify whether it is open or closed. Obviously the same technique here. You getting a reply is a closed, you don't get a reply, that's a open port. That's it. Again, hyphen small s and capital N here. This is a null scan. Okay, so here again you are not getting logged here to verify whether a port is open or closed. So null scan, it just you are replacing capital N here and then you verify the ports here. So if you want to go in depth and you actually want to do some R&D on this one, how it is sending all the packets or segments and whatever it is, this NMAP, you can always open here sniffing tool or Wireshark to scan the segments here. So I pull up the Wireshark, I look at the active interface here, which happens to be my EAT0, which is 1.21. I'm okay with that, so I'll filter all the packets. So IP dot address 192.168.1.21 and also 192 dot my target, which is 1.1. So I'm only going to capture the packets between these two IP addresses. Okay, so let me run the null scan. You can see here the null scan. So 1.21, 1.21, and then there is a reply here. So again a TCP, this is, ignore this part, the DNS part here, just look at this part here. So here we can see the TCP header, the flags are all null, no flag is set here in this one, all the flags are disabled here. Alright, this is for port 80. So you would see the port is open. You don't get any reply here. Let's try it for port 85, which is basically a closed port. For a closed port, we expect RST. See here the RST. We're getting an RST from 1.1 to 1.21. You can verify this way. Okay. Good. So this is a null scan, again undetectable. These are all stealth scans. So when you do a scanning on a network, let's say if you are working in a red team, and if you are doing a scanning, so obviously you don't want anyone to know that you are doing it. That is how red team operates. All right, it's not like a pen tester who you hire from outside. That is a different case, and red team is a different case altogether. Red team is like you are a person working for the same company, are doing security assessment for your own organization. You are a red team guy. All right. So yeah, you will try to make sure you do all the scans and test your firewall which scan it is vulnerable to. You can do testing in that way to assess your security stature at that moment. Okay, good. Now let's try to do one more scan, which is a version detection scan on a particular port. Version detection scan is basically NMAP hyphen capital V 192.168.1.1. Let's say you want to know the version of HTTP service which is being run on your target machine. Which service are they running exactly? You know that they are having HTTP, but which machine? So this is a NMAP giving you information after sending out some HTTP messages. So here in the backend, well, I guess we are already capturing. You can see here HTTP get message, okay, from 1.21, and based on the reply it gets from the target, so it is going to collect the information about what the server is. Here you can see here virtual web 0.9. Now when we are doing CTFs or when we are scanning the servers, web servers, this is how we gather the server which they are running on. And what we do exactly, the next step is you go to the exploit database and find out the vulnerability about that service. So that's version detection scan. So far anyone has any questions, please let me know. Is everything okay? Okay, I would also urge you to please go ahead and like the video, so that this will be available in your own YouTube whenever you want to watch something on the YouTube. Alright, so yeah, identifying open ports with NMAP, that's all the things we have for today. So again, tomorrow's session we will do more about host discovery, okay, with a range of ports, and also we will do multiple port scans. How to do multiple port scans on a target machine. Alright, two things are there tomorrow. One is the host discovery and port specification with multiple ports, not just one port with multiple ports, what exactly happens here. And then tomorrow we will also see how to give output, how to take an output. You have done a scanning, all these are coming on to the screen directly, but if you want to save this output inside a file, how to do that? So that we are going to see tomorrow. For today, just practice on these things. All right, thank you very much, and have a nice day.